Good afternoon, everyone. Today's topic is working capital. What is working capital? And To begin with the introduction, what is working capital now? See, the capital required for a business is of two types. One is fixed capital, and another one is working capital. Capital is meant for taking up capital expenditures, while working capital is for meeting revenue expenditures. Fixed capital is the capital required for acquiring fixed assets such as land, building, plant, machinery. Working capital refers to that capital which is needed for meeting day-to-day operations of the business, like you have to make payment for purchase of raw materials, payment of wages and salaries, and overhead expenses. So, working capital management is concerned with management of current assets only, and one aspect of working capital management is the trade-off between profitability and risk. So there is a conflict between profitability and liquidity. If a firm does not have adequate working capital, it may become liquid and illiquid, and consequently may not have the ability to meet its current obligations. If current assets are too large, profitability is adversely affected. So the key strategies and considerations in ensuring a trade-off between profitability and liquidity is one of the major dimensions of working capital management. So the individual current assets should be efficiently managed so that neither inadequate nor unnecessarily funds are locked up. And working capital, as I have already discussed, it is also known as circulating capital. And working capital means the refers to that part of the firm's capital which is required for financing short-term or current assets such as cash, debtor, marketable securities, inventory, and etc. It is the amount of funds which is necessary to cover cost of operating the enterprise to carry out day-to-day operations of the business. As funds invested in current assets keep revolving fast, therefore it is known as circulating capital or revolving capitals also. Fine. So this is working capital meaning, and why working capital management is required, and for what it is concerned. It is concerned for the problems that arise in attempting to manage the current assets, current liabilities, and the interrelationship that exists them. So working capital management as an administration of the firm's current assets and the financing needed to support current assets. As was already referred to, working capital, it is a day-to-day requirement of the funds. For day-to-day operations, a business need to carry certain amount of raw materials of all sorts so that the commencement of production is not delayed. Certain amount of work in process so that production operations go smoothly. Certain amount of finished goods so that supply to market is not hampered by fluctuations in production, and certain amount of debt so that sales take place continuously, and certain amount of cash and bank balance for meeting daily routine payments and for providing for any unforeseen circumstances. So working capital refers to that investment in the current assets of the business. Working capital is also, you can say, as a revolving capital, as current assets and current liabilities are converted from one form to another, and again converted back to original form and reconverted into on and on. Hence it is also called as revolving capital or a floating capital. If you are doing with this working capital, you must have knowledge of current assets and current liabilities, because working capital means current assets, and the sum of the current asset is the working capital of the business. So it is very much mandatory for you to know what are current assets and what are current liabilities. Current assets are those assets like which can quickly be converted into cash within 1 year only. Examples are cash, debtors, marketable securities, and inventory. And current liabilities are those liabilities like which you have to pay, fine, which have to pay in within a 1 year only or in a short span of time, like bills you have to pay, accounts payable, and bank overdraft, outstanding expenses. And what are the definitions of working capital? Working capital is known as revolving or circulating capital, and any acquisition of fund which increase the current asset increase working capital for their one and the same. Fine. So working capital is that part of the firm's capital which is required for financing only current assets or short-term assets, and these funds invested in current asset keep revolving fast because they are into a conversion into cash, and this cash flow out again in exchange for some assets. That is the only reason that it is also known as circulating capital or revolving capital. Now, working capital has two possible interpretation. One is balance sheet concept and another one is operating cycle concept. And under balance sheet concept, what does this interpretation mean? That there is always excess of current assets over current liabilities or total current assets. And concept of working capital, again, what is now gross working capital? Gross working capital refers to firm's total investment in current assets, right? Like you can say that working capital generally refers to the gross working capital and represent funds invested in total current assets of the firm. That means according to this concept, working capital means total current assets only. And net working capital is often referred to as a circulating capital, and represents the excess of current assets over current liabilities. So current liabilities are short term obligations which are to be paid in the ordinary course of the business within a short period of one accounting year. Net working capital is positive when current assets exceed current liabilities, and it is considered negative when current liabilities exceed current assets. And what are the concepts of working capital? So, gross working capital always focus on the optimization of investment and financing of current assets only. And net working capital, it focuses on the liquidity position. Liquidity means that liquidity position of the firm and judicious mix of short-term and long-term financing. Now, operating cycle. What is operating cycle? Operating cycle is that duration required to convert the sales and finally into a cash. So, operating cycle of a manufacturing company involves three phases. One is acquisition of resources, that you have to acquire resources from some sources. Fine. Then manufacturing of the product. Then last, at the last, you have to sell it. So this is the meaning of the circulating capital. So this is circulating capital means only those current assets of the company that are have changed, for example, like from cash to inventory, inventory to receivable, and receivable into cash. So this is now a working capital cycle. You can see it from here. Like first of all, you purchase raw material. Fine. Then you pay wages. First of all, you purchase raw material, then that raw material are used and your work comes into progress. And when your work is finished, then debtors you have to pay, and then at the end you receive a cash. So this is the cycle of working capital. And now this is the operating cycle, gross operating cycle formula. And net working capital is gross working capital minus payable deferrable period. And classification, this is the classification of kinds of working capital. It is divided into two parts. One is on the basis of concept and on the basis of time. On the basis of concept, it is divided into two parts, that is gross working capital and net working capital. These two we have already discussed in the previous slides. And second is on the basis of time. One is permanent working capital and other one is temporary working capital. So we will be doing these now. What is permanent working capital? A permanent working capital, though working capital has a limited life and usually not exceeding a year, in actual practice some part of the investment is always permanent. Since firms have relatively longer life and production does not stop at the end of a particular accounting period, some investment is always locked up in the form of raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. The investment in these components of working capital is simply carry forward to the next year. This minimum level of investment in current asset is required to continue the business without interruption. This is referred as permanent fixed capital. And now permanent fixed capital is again divided into two parts, that is regular and reserve working capital. Regular working capital is required to ensure circulation of current assets from cash to inventory, from inventory to receivable, and from receivable to cash. And reserve working capital refer to the excess amount required over regular working capital, which may be provided for contingencies or something like that. And variable working capital is the second point. Variable working capital is also known as circulating or transitory working capital. The amount of such working capital keeps on fluctuating from time to time on the basis of business activities. And it is divided into two parts, that is seasonal working capital and special working capital. Seasonal working capital is that working capital which is required during particular seasons when the production takes place. And special working capital, it is that part of the working capital which is needed to finance special operations only. Like in the wake of competition, it may be necessary to spend extra amounts on advertisement campaign, or in order to capture more markets, it may become necessary to speed up your marketing mechanism. So the sums required to finance such special operations come under the head of a working capital only. So this is like permanent and variable working capital. You can see in the diagram also, the straight line shows the fixed working capital, and the zigzag line, that is called as a temporary or variable working capital. Now we'll be doing the determinants of working capital. And the first one is nature of business. The working capital requirement of an enterprise are basically related to the conduct of that particular business only. Enterprise fall into some broad categories depending on the nature of the business. Like for example, you can say public utilities have certain features which have a bearing on their working capital needs. The two relevant features are cash nature of business or the sale of service, then commodities. In view of these features, they do not maintain big inventories and have therefore probably little or least requirement of working capital. So the nature of the business is such that they have to maintain a sufficient amount of cash, inventories and book debts. They have necessarily to invest proportionately large amount in working capital. And second point is production cycle. So this is the another factor which affect the requirement of working capital. The term production cycle, what does it mean? It means the time involved in the manufacturing of good. It covers the time span between the purchase of raw material and the completion of the manufacturing process leading to the production of finished goods. Right. So funds will have to be necessarily tied up during the process of manufacture. The larger will be the funds tied up, and therefore the larger the working capital needed, and vice versa. And the third point is business cycle. So the working capital requirement is also determined by the nature of the business cycle. During the boom period, the need for working capital is likely to grow to cover the lag between increased sales and receipt of cash, as well as to finance purchase of additional material to face the expansion of the level of the activity. The decline stage in the business cycle will have exactly an opposite effect on the level of working capital requirement. So the decline in the economy is associated with the fall in the volume of sales, which will lead to fall in the level of inventories and book debts. So the need for working capital is in a condition is bound to decline only. So there are different phases of a business cycle, like different boom period, depression period, recession period, and recovery period. And need for working capital depends on these four periods only. And the next topic, sorry, and the next point is production policy. So the quantity of working capital is determined by the production policy. In the case of certain lines of business, the demand for a product is seasonal only. That means that they will be purchased during certain months of the year. Such companies may either confine their production only to periods where the goods are purchased, or they follow up a steady production policy throughout the year. In the former case, there will be a serious production problems, and during slack season of the firm will have to maintain its working force and physical facilities without adequate production and sales. So this will require additional working capital. Next point is seasonality of operation. Firms which have marked seasonality in their operation usually have high fluctuating working capital. For example, consider this firm manufacturing conditioners. The sale of air conditioners reaches the peak during summer months and drops sharply during winter season. The working capital need of such a firm is likely to increase in summer months and decrease significantly during winter period. So on the other hand, if you talk about a firm manufacturing consumer goods like soaps, oil, toothpaste, they have a fairly even sale round the year, tends to have a stable working capital. Next point is market conditions. When competition is keen, larger inventory of finished good is required promptly to serve the customers who may not be inclined to wait because other manufacturers are ready to meet their needs. Further, generous credit terms may have to be offered to attract customers in highly competitive market. Thus, working capital needs tend to be high because of greater investment in finished goods inventory and account receivable. So, if the market is strong and competition is weak, a firm can manage with small inventory of finished good because customers can be served without any delay. Next is conditions of supply. The inventory of raw materials, spares, stores depend on the conditions of supply only. If supply is prompt and adequate, the firm can manage with small inventories. However, if the supply is unpredictable, then the firm, to ensure continuity of production, would have to acquire stock as and when they are available and carry large inventories on an average. And the next point is credit policy. The level of working capital is also determined by the credit policy, which relates to sale and purchase. The credit sale will result in higher amount of debtors and more working capital will be required. On the other hand, if liberal credit terms are available from the suppliers of the good, the need for working capital will be less. So, and the next point is rate of stock turnover. There is a high degree of correlationship between the quantity of working capital and the speed with which sales are affected. A firm having a high rate of stock turnover will need lower amount of working capital as compared to a firm having a low rate of turnover. Next point is price level changes. Changes in the price level also affect the requirement of working capital. Rising prices would need the use of more funds for maintaining an existing level of activity. For the same level of material and assets, higher cash outflows are required, and the effect of rising prices will that a higher level of working capital is needed. Next point is profit margins. So the magnitude of working capital in a firm is dependent upon its profit margin and dividend policy only. A high net profit margin contributes towards the working capital. To the extent the net profit has been earned in a cash, it becomes a source of working capital. High profit margin of a company would generate more internal funds, and the availability of such funds for working capital would depend upon the level of tax, dividend, and reserves. So, and the last point is that other factors you can consider, like the factors in addition, like you have mentioned above, like I have mentioned in the above particular slide, which influence the working capital. There are certain other factors like a concern where there is a gap between production and distribution, and which is having credit sales policy will require more working capital. Similarly, an expanding business will require more working capital. And lastly, where the means of transportation and communications are less developed, more working capital will be required. So this is all about working capital. In case of any problems, you can just message me.